What's up? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel, Sports, Life and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, YouTube's #1 couch detective, and I'm here for the news. And here yesterday, there was a presidential debate for the ages. It might have been the saddest, funniest thing you've ever seen. Joe Biden sitting up there looking like the Walking Dead. What kind of drugs they have him on to keep him going at this point is unbeknownst to mankind. But clearly, this is no longer a human being. This is some kind of android. I don't know what's going on with Joe Biden, but the age has completely taken over. And obviously, Donald Trump still has his scruples. He still has his common sense. And it looks like he's still ready to lead. But Joe Biden, my God, the Democrats have to be in complete panic mode. Behind the scenes, I don't think none of us can imagine how desperate the Democrats are right now. And for Donald Trump, the only thing he has to worry about right now is his life. It has to be in danger because that's the only way out for the Democrats. They have nothing. They're grasping at straws. They'll take anything. They have no candidates at this point. They don't have anything. And I've talked about this before in other videos about who's really running the country. Obviously, it's not Joe Biden, but he's the face. And when the face is this decrepit and this shot out and has completely lost his goddamn marbles, you can't keep running him out there. And I've talked about this before in other videos about who's actually running the country, but now there's a clip to go with what I'm saying. And I've told people time and time again, the vice president, senators, people in the industrial military complex, they actually run the country. It's not the face that you see out here. But let's take a look at this, a couple of these clips from this debate. And it is something to behold. Well, let's take a look.
American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming out. He's got a whole range of issues he has to face. I don't know what the juries will do, but I do know he has a real problem. And so the fact that, could you ever think you heard any president say that I'm going to seek retribution? Never hear any president say that I thought Hitler had some good ideas. But
Well, the thing about Donald Trump is that when he says he's going to seek retribution, all politicians, from mayors to city councilmen to national congressmen, senators, I don't care, they all will seek retribution against people who come after them. That's normal. The only difference is with Donald Trump, he actually has the cojones to say that shit out loud.
I'll run in the first place after my son had died. I decided in Iraq, because of Iraq, I said I wasn't going to run again until I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. People coming out of the woods carrying swastikas on torches. And
that's Joe Biden's type of people too, by the way. Joe Biden, there's no bigger racist than Joe Biden.
The same anti-Semitic file they sang when we were back in Germany. And the young woman got killed. I spoke to the mother. And they asked him, they said, what do you think of those people? People who, the ones who got killed, one who tried to stop it, and the ones he said, I think they're fine people on both sides. What American president would ever say, Nazis coming out of fields, carrying torches, singing the same anti-Semitic file, carrying swastikas, fine people? This is a guy who says Hitler's done some good things. I'd like to know what they are. Good things Hitler's done, that's what he said. This guy has no sense of American democracy.
Hey, Sean.
And even his voice was so raspy, is so exhausted. Like, you ever hear somebody when they talking and their throat seems real raspy and exhausted? It's almost like you want to talk for them or you want them to stop talking. This performance was a nightmare for the Democrats and Joe Biden. Let's take a look at another clip. Let's say Trump on Biden's handling of Israel-Hamas war that is still carrying on. Now, on this one, they can both play good cop, bad cop, but it doesn't matter. They both on the same team when it comes to what's going on over in Israel. Maybe you might handle it a little bit different, but regardless of the fact they're both on the side of Israel. So, yeah. But we'll take a look at the clip anyway.
Grant, for 1 second. We have an ocean separating us. The European nations together.
Look at Joe Biden. It looked like Alzheimer's and constipation simultaneously. Look at the look on Joe Biden's face. This is comical.
Have spent 100 billion or maybe more than that, less than us. Why doesn't he call them and say, you got to put up your money like I did with NATO? I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General of NATO said Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any, they were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us. He didn't do that. He's getting old. You got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one who wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
Oh my God. He said, let me say this. Donald Trump is 100% wrong on this war. They should try to end this as fast as possible. It's only going to get worse for Israel. They're trying to extend this war out, but there's really no victory in sight. It's kind of like the war with Afghanistan. It's just something that you're going to just keep doing forever. It's not like Hamas they're ever going to give up or that you can kill them all. That's impossible. So I don't know. The only way you can do that by using chemical warfare or nuclear weapons. But even at that still would not work. That would just be a complete and utter disaster, and it would lead to your immediate defeat. Let's look at this next clip. Biden, I'm going to fix the tax system. Joe Biden's face is killing me.
I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question about the national debt.
You have the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, you got $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy.
Hey, his fingers are shaking like a snitch at a gangster party. Look at his fingers. Look at his fingers. Watch his fingers again. Just watch his fingers. Watch Biden's fingers.
You have the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, you got $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period.
He don't know what he's talking about.
We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with.
Trump, like, spit it out, Grandpa. Oh my God, this is a disaster. I mean, the Democrats have to be so panicked. They have to be behind the scenes, just like pulling their hair out, scratching their eyes out, like, Lord, we are finished. What are we gonna do? This man can't even put together a complete city. He don't even know what he's talking about no more. Let's see how he ends it off one more time, y'all. Listen to it.
For what I've been able to do with the COVID, excuse me, with dealing
Look at Trump.
everything we have to do with. Look, we finally beat Medicare.
Oh God. I've never seen this before. This man is finished. He needs to be in elderly care. He's talking about elderly care and Medicaid. He needs elderly care and Medicaid at this point. Biden is finished, and the Democrats is going down the tube with him. Let's take a look at this clip. Biden claims there are 40% fewer people coming across the border. That's a goddamn lie. They flooding the country. Yeah, they be. Listen, you can always cook the books. You can always fake the numbers. You can always make something look more than what it is. You can say LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. Because when I was coming up, it was all about championships and being the best player on the best team and winning chips. Then it was becoming stats. You can always change the dynamic to make it fit your perspective and what you want and how you want it to make it look. And this is another claim that is completely bogus and we all know it's bogus. Let's take a look at this clip.
Worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, it made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly, by the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure the families were separated. That's not the right way to go. What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in the way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. It's better than when he left office. Now I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do.
Look the way Donald, look at the way Donald Trump is looking. Oh my God, this was so bad. I mean, he just gets up there and is stuttering and goddamn probably need his depends changed and it's just bad. I see it one more time, y'all.
It's better than when he left office. Now I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
Tragic. Another one, Donald Trump. Biden can't hit a ball 50 yards. And he said he can't hit a ball 50 yards. I don't think the man can swing a golf club without hitting himself at this point. Talking about hitting it 50 yards, that's out of the question. I seen Biden fall off a stationary bike. I seen Biden fall up the stairs. I heard him when you can fall down the stairs. This motherfucker fell up the stairs. I ain't never seen that before. But let's take a look at this clip.
Trump, to follow up, you would be 82 at the end of your second term. What do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them, as you know. He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one, a real easy one. The first 5 questions, he couldn't do it.
Oh my God, he is a big stepper, isn't he? He's stepping he really could have stepped on him even more, but he kind of held back a little bit. Hear him again.
Cognitive tests, I aced them, both of them, as you know. We made it public. He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one, a real easy one. Like go through the first 5 questions, he couldn't do it. But I took 2 cognitive tests. I took physical exams every year. And, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced them. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they'd never seen anybody ace them.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
Trump showed how to pump himself up, though. Maybe they should have a presidency, a golf tournament. I would say, I don't think Biden could make it through 18 holes, so maybe a 9-hole, play the back 9 for the presidency. Donald Trump aces everything. Yeah, I took an IQ test, I got a 100%. Donald, it doesn't work like that. I aced it. It doesn't matter what you say, you're an idiot. Get out of my face. Take a look at this. Biden on Trump's foreign policy. We're paying everybody's bill. And that's the one thing I did like about Trump when he was in office. He just looked at people and said, this is a bad deal. He just tore that shit up and said, let's start over. So you got to respect that because America is in so many bad deals and has been in the past. And when he was in office, all of a sudden we had some great deals and the economy and the market was booming. That stock market was through the roof. Let's take a look at this clip.
Just to follow up, would you support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
I'd have to see, but before we do that, the problem we have is that we spend all the money. So they kill us on trade. I make great trade deals with the European nations because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically. Their economy is about the same size as the United States. And they were no cars, they don't want anything that we have, but we're supposed to take their cars, their food, their everything, their agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, and he's right about this, I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay. They asked me that question, would you guard us against Russia? At a very secret meeting of the 28 states at that time, nations at that time. And they said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that. And you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's bills.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
Donald Trump was right about that, 100%. Let's take a look at this clip. Trump, what Biden has done to the black community is horrible. Let's say this. Joe Biden is one of the biggest racists in the history of American politics. I would say in recent American politics. And are a lot of them racist? Almost all of them, I would say unequivocally yes. But the one thing about Trump is Trump always hung with black people, even back in the 80s and 90s. I'm not saying that he doesn't have some racism in him too, but by far coming up, Donald Trump was looked at as a cool billionaire, as a guy that was loved by Mike Tyson and Snoop Dogg and all the rappers and Ice Cube and all of the athletes loved Donald Trump until he ran for president and got into office. But before that, everybody loved Donald Trump. And it's amazing how more things change, the more they stay the same. A lot of those people have come back full circle and now are saying Donald Trump isn't that bad. Let's take a look at this clip.
Every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group. And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that. Super predators.
No, you didn't, motherfucker. How dare you start telling the truth? How dare you, you motherfucker? He even said he didn't want his kids to go to some school. This is public record. He said this shit publicly. I don't know if he's a senator. It might have been in the Senate. He didn't want his kids to go to school with black people, or black kids. Period. Point blank. He was dead set serious too.
And what he's done to the
Watch how he turned his head.
Population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, can't forget that. Super predators was his name. And he called it to them, and they've taken great offense at it, and now they see it happening. But when they see what I did for criminal justice reform and for the historically black colleges and universities, where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim Scott was incredible. He did a great job, great senator from South Carolina. He came to me with the idea, and it was a great idea. It's one of the most successful economic development acts ever in the country, opportunity zones. And the biggest beneficiary are blacks. And that's why we have the best numbers with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning where ever, the best numbers. He's lost much of the black population because he's done a horrible job for black people. He's also done a horrible job for Hispanics. But when you see these millions of people pouring into our country and they're going to take the jobs, and it's already started, and you haven't seen anything yet, it's a disaster.
38 seconds left. President Trump, will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
So I want absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it we had H2O. We had the best numbers ever, and we were using all forms of energy, all forms, everything. And yet, during my 4 years, I had the best environmental numbers ever. And my top environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage.
Ever. Don't forget ever. Ever. Yeah, Donald Trump is, but he's telling the truth about that. Like, Biden and the Democrats have lost, I would say, at this point, at least 35% of black people. Because you got to realize that at one point it was 95.5 when it came to like the voting percentage of black people. 95% voting for Democrat, 5% Republican, maybe not even 5, maybe 4% Republican and 1% independent, something like that. So the numbers were completely skewed one way. And now, as you can see, it is starting to plummet for the Democrats. There's no doubt about that. Now, let's take a look at this last clip of the day. Obama to hold intervention with Biden as Kamala is furious about the post-debate and not being named one of the people to replace Joe Biden. And I've told you guys this, and this is the beauty of this channel and the things that I say. Anybody who watched this channel know for years I've been telling you the president doesn't run the country. That's a fact. And especially with this president right here, it is Obama and Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. They are running the country 100% allegedly. There's no doubt about it in my mind. And as you can see, this right here tells you Obama holds an intervention with Biden. Who are you to hold an intervention with the president? Why? Because he's running the country. There's no doubt about that. This is his third term, and he would love to have a fourth term. Let's take a look at this clip.
Well, this is a bombshell. Listen closely. We're getting new reporting about what's going on at the Biden campaign as we speak.
Let me say fair use for all these clips. Fair use, using these clips for educational purposes only. Fair use.
A hedge fund owner, a big DNC insider, just posted this. Quote, what I am hearing regarding Joe Biden, Ron Klain, that's the former chief of staff, and Barack Obama are having a sit down with the president today. Joe Biden is insistent that Joe is running. Kamala is furious that she is not being considered as a replacement. Whitmer and Newsom are. Interestingly, my neighbor in East Hampton is hosting the Bidens tomorrow. It will be an important tell if the fundraiser is canceled. Whoa. Okay, let's take this piece by piece. This is the claim of one hedge fund owner. But Tammy, let's start.
And whatever they holding tomorrow, some kind of ritual. I remember, and you probably think, oh, nigga, you out of control. There ain't no damn ritual. Listen to me. I remember when Hillary Clinton was in her camp, she was campaigning against Trump, and the numbers was looking kind of funny, and they held a ritual. It came out in the emails. This is a fact. It's called a spirit cooking. You think if you Google spirit cooking and Hillary Clinton, that's a fact they had. It was in the email, in her personal emails. They were doing spirit cooking rituals. So don't be surprised at the East Hamptons, they're not doing some kind of spirit cooking ritual. Listen to me, blood drinking and all type of shit. You'd be surprised. Some of these people are sick and sadistic.
Klain and Barack Obama having a sit down. That has the potential to boomerang because Obama encouraged Biden to stay out the first time and cede that ground to Hillary. Reporting says Biden was upset by that. So that could boomerang in Biden's face or Obama's face.
Yeah, I think that this also shows you that now we've got leadership coming in, has a mission, and I don't think Cass is going to post something like that without permission. You're not going to go with gossip when you're an insider. So there's a point, in a way, that they're still playing this out publicly with that kind of messaging. Why put Kamala Harris in that position as the angry outsider who's being pushed under the bus? Fascinating decision. So I think that this is a problem in general, that you, once again, to your earlier point, that this is being perhaps addressed moment by moment, people getting in, people trying to persuade, and that the nation is in that kind of condition right now.
Jason, this is not Fox News reporting. I just want to point this out. This is one person who could have his own motives. Maybe he wants someone different. But the second piece of what he said is Joe Biden is insistent that Joe is running. That rings as true to me based on this last night.
And it's not my sound. This is their sound. For some reason, the mic is really low with their sound. She said, Joe, you answered every question. What the hell does that mean? What did Trump do? Lie.
Jason, I know she's a teacher,
Wow,
but that is
that's
how I
so
talk
pathetic.
to my child. Good job, you answered all the questions.
Yeah,
That's what I was
Joe
saying.
Biden
What the
likes
hell
being
is that?
president, quite frankly, I think, and the problem here is there's not a natural succession plan. The idea that Kamala Harris, I mean, the only person that's less popular than Joe Biden, even after that performance, is Kamala Harris. And the party and the nation, I think, is frightened to actually put her up there. But look at the way she had to lead Joe Biden away from the podium.
And let me say this. Kamala Harris, the reason why she can't replace or as a possible replacement for Joe Biden, because when she was running for president, her poll numbers were so abysmal. She doesn't have a true base. She doesn't have women. She don't really have men. She doesn't have black people. She doesn't have her base. She doesn't have a real base of people to support and try to garner up enough energy to try to become president. So they know with internal polls that that's a waste of time.
Republicans, I think, would do well to just sit back and shut up and don't talk about it. We'll just run the Democrats, let the Democrats sort this out, let them talk about it, and just shut up and let them deal with. They created this problem, so they got to live with it.
They did, and I mean, Doug Cass says Kamala's furious and Newsom and Whitmer are being considered. I mean, whoa, who do you think should be the replacement?
Well, first I want to say that the vice president did a phenomenal job last night by all accounts of, Democrats who last night were bedwetting about Joe Biden instead, and people who are not Kamala Harris fans. She said, she did a wonderful job. She was honest. She was forthright. She talked about policy. I think she's been doing a much better job on the stump, especially with women and communities of color. So I would not sleep on her. And look, I've always said if either party nominated someone else for president, they would win by 10. And so I think the Republican Party, be careful what you wish for. If Joe Biden, for some reason, decides not to run, I think that would spell the end for Donald Trump's campaign. I think even if it's Kamala.
I think she's clearly delusional. Yes, you want to run against Joe Biden. Obviously, he's a train wreck, and it looked like the first stages of Alzheimer's are kicking in, but they don't have any candidates. They don't have, number one, to become the president, you have to have energy behind you. You have to have, a base and garner a bunch of support, and you get the casuals along that come along with that. But none of them people they just named, none of them have that.
Harris, I believe that. And what I don't want, my very last point, what I don't want is the problem at the top of the ticket to affect Senate races and the House races and the governor's races. The Democrats have to win across this country to prevent the extremist Republican actions across the country. That's what I don't.
And I hear what you're saying. I think the Trump camp would probably agree with you that Joe Biden is a weak nominee. But here's the counter to that is when you look at polling, Newsom fares worse than Biden does against Trump. Kamala fares worse. And if you replace them as, maybe that's not true in practice, well, some of these folks, Newsom doesn't have a name ID.
And Newsom is who's the governor of California. He's one of the most hated governors across the United States. No, they do not like Newsom at all. He is literally running California into the ground. So no way he has a snowball's chance in hell.
Who also inserts RFK Jr. into that polling, Democrats do even worse. And, Gavin Newsom, he is not popular in California. They have turned their backs on his leadership because taxes are high, homelessness is high, and he is in denial. So now he's trying to pivot with this national message because he wants to be the replacement. He wants to be this last-minute savior. He is a better communicator than both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Unfortunately, he is communicating a god-awful record. She was not honest last night. She had the worst spin of anyone about his debate performance. Even Anderson Cooper had a very pointed critique of the president, and he went back to her twice, and she was like, well, slow start, strong finish. It's like, what were you watching?
Yeah, I've never seen Anderson Cooper that hot. That was interesting to watch.
Hey, everyone, I'm Emily Campagno.
But, I just wanted to go over those clips and, go over the debate. This is American history, and we're at a very, very interesting time in history, and we get in a front row seat to the decline of the greatest country in the world. There's no doubt about that. And what are the Democrats going to do? Only God knows. Like I said in the beginning of this video, Donald Trump has to be very concerned with his safety at this point because the Democrats, they don't have no other path to victory. Like, I don't know, like, maybe they can frame him. Maybe you can, maybe like the movie Major Payne, maybe you can dress up a small baby and make it look like he's doing, I don't know, and put it on his chest. Like, I don't know what you can do at this point. But they don't have anything. The man he went to trial, got found guilty. He's still blowing away the field. I mean, Biden is just so far behind him. And it's not helping that he can't put together a complete sentence. They're done. Look at Obama's face. Obama like, what in the fuck is going on? What am I doing? He would love his fourth term. But Obama's look like it's not going to happen. But I will say this about the Democrats. Don't underestimate them willing to go as low as possible. They'll do anything. So I'm expecting all type of wacky things coming here soon. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be like a Looney Tunes cartoon. So, yeah, don't be surprised. But, yeah, they have nothing, you guys. But I just wanted to go over these clips. This has been Sports, Life and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, YouTube's #1 couch detective. I'm here for the news. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. I just took your ass on a Joe Biden look like he's dealing with Alzheimer's and constipation ride.